My wife's male boss mocked me at her company's dinner party. It was a Thursday night when the call came. Not from my wife, not from a friend. From my number I didn't recognize. Mr. Hale? A woman's voice, dry, professional. Yes? You need to come to the firm, tonight. The law firm. Her firm. I asked no questions. I didn't have to. My chest already knew before my head caught up. Something was wrong. When I arrived, the lobby was empty. Too empty. Silent except for the hum of fluorescent lights. The receptionist didn't meet my eyes. She only nodded toward the elevator. I pressed the button. 5th floor. The doors opened onto glass walls and polished marble. A room designed to intimidate. And there, through the paneled glass, I saw her. My wife. Head down, shoulders trembling. And across from her, him, her boss. The same man who, weeks earlier at the company dinner, smirked as he raised a glass and said in front of half the room, "She could do way better than you." Laughter followed, forced, nervous. I had smiled then, silent, controlled. My wife turned to me, snapped in a voice that cut bone, "Apologize, or we're over." I didn't. I only smiled wider. And now, watching her across that glass, the way his hand rested just a moment too long on her chair, I understood what done truly meant. The elevator doors shut behind me with a hiss, and the game began. The dinner had been my first clue, but not the last. The words, his mockery, her ultimatum, should have ended it then. But endings are too easy. They teach nothing. People only learn when they are broken slowly, piece by piece. After the dinner, she stopped meeting my eyes at home. Conversations shortened to fragments. Her phone, once left on counters or tables, now lived in her pocket like a second pulse. At first, I told myself it was nothing. Stress, deadlines, the natural decay of a long marriage. But then came the whispers. The late nights at the office. The perfume she didn't wear for me anymore. The hotel receipt folded in her coat pocket. Disguised as a client dinner, but I know the hotels she books for clients. And the boss. Always the boss. Smooth. Arrogant. CEO of a law empire built on other people's mistakes. He smiled like he owned every room he entered, including my marriage. I began to notice small tells. The way she laughed harder at his jokes than she ever laughed at mine. The way she adjusted her blouse before video calls with him. The way her phone lit up at 1:13 a.m. and her hand shot to silence it like a guilty reflex. When she turned to me one night and said, "You're paranoid. You need help." I didn't argue, because paranoia is only paranoia until the evidence comes in. And I was already building my case. Evidence first. Always evidence. I started with her phone bill. Buried in the statements were late-night numbers, always the same one. His, the CEO, a man who mocked me once and was now mocking me again in silence. I didn't rage, I didn't accuse, I documented. Every call, every message. Next, her calendar. She thought deleting digital entries erased them. She didn't realize synced backups never lie. I pulled hotel bookings, canceled meetings, and late-night strategy sessions. Each one corresponded with him. Still, I stayed calm. Outwardly, I was the same husband I had always been. Quiet, predictable. The kind of man people forget in a room. That was my advantage. When she left one morning for court, I followed. She didn't go to the courthouse. She went to a restaurant 2 towns over. Private booth, him across the table. His hand slid to hers like it belonged there. I didn't interrupt. I didn't storm in. I took photographs. Clear, cold, undeniable. But still, I wasn't done. The final nail was DNA. She thought I didn't notice the subtle shift when she mentioned wanting children again. The sudden urgency, the strange timing. So, when she handed me coffee one morning, I kept the rim. Took it to a lab I trusted more than her. Weeks later, results confirmed what I already knew. She'd been tested for compatibility. With him, not me. I smiled when I saw the report. Not joy, not relief, a colder kind of satisfaction. Because the truth wasn't just a weapon, it was a scalpel, and I was ready to cut. The night of the reveal wasn't loud, it wasn't violent, it was quiet, surgical. I laid the folder on the kitchen counter. Nothing dramatic, just paper, bound by clips. Her name on every page. His name too. Phone records, hotel receipts, photographs, DNA reports. She walked in, heels clicking on hardwood. She froze when she saw it. "What is this?" I didn't answer. I only gestured to the folder. She opened it. Page by page, her face collapsed. First pale, then flushed, then trembling. Her voice cracked. "You went through my things?" "No." My voice was calm, detached. I went through the truth. She tried denial first. "It's not what it looks like." Then anger. "You invaded my privacy." Then desperation. "Please, let me explain." I only watched. Silent. Cold. And then the breaking point. Tears. Shaking hands. "It was a mistake. I didn't mean for it to happen." Finally, the line that sealed her fate. "He loves me in ways you never could." The words should have cut. They didn't. Because wounds only hurt if you still care. And I didn't. Not anymore. I didn't yell, I didn't threaten, I didn't need to. Instead, I reached into the drawer and pulled out a single envelope. Inside, legal documents, real estate transfer papers. Her signature already there. She'd signed them weeks ago, thinking they were routine mortgage updates. But they weren't. They were exit papers. Carefully rewritten, quietly notarized, every property, every account, every joint asset shifted. To me. She gasped when she saw the header. "What is this?" "My revenge," I said simply. Her boss, the CEO, might own his firm, but now I owned her. Every brick of the house she loved, every dollar she thought she had, every safety net. She stumbled back. You tricked me." I smiled. "No, you betrayed me. I just wrote the contract." The irony was exquisite. A law firm CEO's mistress, undone by paperwork she never bothered to read. Her sobs filled the kitchen. But I didn't soften. I didn't reach for her. I let her collapse. And when she whispered, "Please, we can fix this," I finally spoke the words I'd been saving. "No, we're done." I didn't watch her leave. I didn't care where she went. Weeks later, I learned she tried moving in with him. It didn't last. He wouldn't risk his reputation on a woman stripped of her wealth and security. She became disposable, an afterthought. The irony? Perfect. He mocked me once, said she could do better. Now she had nothing, and he had no interest in nothing. I rebuilt quietly, sold one property, invested in another. The silence of an empty house was cleaner than any apology she could have offered. At night, I no longer replayed her laughter with him. I replayed the moment she realized everything she valued was already mine. Revenge isn't loud. It doesn't scream. It doesn't throw punches. It signs documents. It waits. And when the moment comes, it smiles. The final time I saw her, months later, she looked hollow, eyes sunken, clothes cheaper. She whispered, "Why did you do this to me?" I leaned in, cold, calm, absolute. "I didn't do this to you. You did it to yourself. I just made sure you understood what done really means." And then I walked away. Forever. In the end, she lost her lover, her life, and her lies. I lost nothing except the weight of pretending to care.